fuck alone. Do you know what the fuck is going on? Period. Fuck you. I've had it up to here. Who's reacting to what, for God's sakes? Fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Get the fucking thing together, fuck you. Oh yeah, bullshit. That's why we spent 5 or 6 fucking hours doing something else. No! God damn it! You fucked it up, god damn you! Now get straight on and help. If you can't help them, help me! That's right. Fuck you too.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
No, don't get out.
I'll break the fucking set apart. I don't even give a fuck.
That don't matter because you're there.
Oh, shut up. You shut the fuck up too.
I will, but you're still there. Shoot the fucking thing right now.
Yeah.
Does David O. Russell suck? That footage was leaked about a good 20 years ago from I Heart Huckabees, and it went viral. Rewatching it, I find it funny, and Lily Tomlin has a good relationship with the guy. She just lost it on set. I'm sure it happens all the time. So his first breakout movie, David O. Russell, was Spanking the Monkey. Came out in 1994. I was 27. I never saw it. And the reason I never saw it was because I thought the title was very much sort of clickbait. Oh, ooh, Spanking the Monkey. Wow. So that's my review of Spanking the Monkey. Judge a book by its cover. I'm not going to watch it based on its title. 96, Flirting with Disaster. Ben Stiller, Patricia Arquette, Tia Leone. I probably would have watched it. I wasn't above watching chick flicks. It looks like a chick flick. I mean, when I was younger, I would watch every chick flick, from like Fried Green Tomatoes to Beaches with Bette Midler. IMDb labels it as a dark comedy, road trip comedy. So, I guess it wasn't a chick flick. But you know what, buddy? Don't title your movie Flirting. Don't use the word flirting in your title if you don't want it to be labeled. And put 2 girls on the cover, one with their legs crossed, if you don't want it to be labeled as a chick flick. 1999, he made Three Kings, which I did watch. I was 32, starring George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, and Ice Cube. Don't hire Ice Cube if you want your movie to be taken seriously. I remember almost nothing about this movie. I'm not a fan of war movies. I don't even know why I watched it. I do remember one scene, correct me if I'm wrong, where it's about the Kuwait War, or the Persian Gulf War, and there's one scene where I think Mark Wahlberg gets captured by the Kuwaitis, or whatever you want to call them, and they go, you Americans, you make Michael Jackson, you make him want to be white, and that is the problem with America. He hates himself for not being white, or something like that. There was some speech which was kind of interesting. 2004, I Heart Huckabees. So my best friend, who was a philosophy major, was raging about how great this movie was. And for a philosophy major, I suppose it would be very great, because it's like there's these, they call themselves existential detectives, I think. Those are 2 characters. And then there's another character who represents nihilism, or nihilism. I think both words they work. And then Jude Law's character represents just superficial people in general. I'm reading this from someone's thing. Mark Wahlberg represents reductionism. And so it's like, and then the African represents coincidence. So it's an interesting and fun and original idea. It would be like if you made a movie where one character represents the color blue and another character represents the color red. So it's got an idea to it. I think I watched it twice, and I think this movie showed a lot of like artistic ability, and maybe this guy could be like an amazing director. That was how I felt. But spoilers, that was just a hiccup. Because then he makes The Fighter, where Christian Bale wins an Oscar. And I saw it, and it's entirely forgettable. Again, a lot of these directors, they make movies that are vehicles for actors so that the actors could win Oscars. And that's about as good as the movie is. And you'll never watch it again. You look at any movie where the actor won for Best Actor, 90% of the time, it's a terrible film. But it showcased the actor's acting. Then he makes Silver Linings Playbook, which again, is, like, not again, but it's a love story, I guess. And it's about people with, I guess, manic depression or some kind of, like, mental problems. And it's sweet and romantic, and I think J-Law won an Oscar for it. But, you know, it's fluff. Finally, I want to end this with the movie Joy, starring Jennifer Lawrence. And this is a movie based on the life of a woman who invented that mop thing, where you twist the thing to rinse the mop out. And it's got to be the most uninspired, boring idea for a movie that anybody could ever imagine. I don't understand how anybody could make a movie. How do you go from I Heart Huckabees to a movie about an inspirational movie about a woman, a housewife who invents a new type of mop? I mean, there was a scene in it where I was just cracking up laughing. The scene, by the way, is where she goes on like a dial-in show. What do you call them? Where like you advertise on TV for your product. She's like, yeah, this mop, it can do this and it can do that, and then you twist it and it rinses on its own, and then everybody's like, oh no, nobody's calling, we're not getting any calls, nobody wants to buy it. And she invested all her money in this mop, right? Because she wants to. But then finally the phones start ringing, and they're like, and then she's like gets excited and she starts going, yeah, it's such a good mop, and then she's like doing a great presentation of the mop. So I mean, this is the kind of movie where you watch it, you're like, wow, I thought I was a loser. This woman spent her whole life making a stupid mop. Or even worse, David O. Russell made a movie about the woman who spent her whole life making a mop. And buddy, work on your titles. Joy, what a terrible title for a movie. So at the end of the day, David O. Russell is I'm pretty certain he's a very average director. And I think it's worse to be an average director than to be a bad director. And I don't mean Michael Bay bad, I mean just like incompetent bad. Or maybe I do mean Michael Bay. Maybe it's worse to be David O. Russell than Michael Bay. Because David O. Russell's kind of like trying to like make good movies, but then ends up making very, very average movies. And I Heart Huckabees was a hiccup. I would tell him to not quit his day job, but I guess in those days you wouldn't need a day job because people would go to see average movies. I mean, this is just another guy like, Paul Feig, who did Bridesmaids, I think, and Ghostbusters. Or like the guy who made Jerry Maguire. I forget his name, but I'm going to do a video on him. Just these directors that make these really, really average movies that don't matter at all. And I don't care how many Oscars you shove up my ass or how much money. It's not worth it. As I've said before, you only live once. And you know what? Even for $1 billion, I'm not living a life that I don't like a life that's anything short of what I really want. And if you want to criticize me for being like, oh yeah, well, see, the life you really wanted was to be some YouTube loser with only 1,000 subscribers, I would say, well, firstly, this is not the only thing I do. Secondly, this video took like 10 minutes to make. Whereas our friend David O. Russell, he spent decades making these very, very mediocre movies. Like, that took a lot of time, energy, and work. But I'll end it on a positive. I think everybody should watch I Heart Huckabees. I think it's very quirky and thoughtful and makes you think. So he has one good movie, and that's That's a good thing. I just realized after uploading this video that I forgot his most awful movie out of all of his movies, American Hustle. Now, what's remarkable about this movie is, firstly, that he got, well, contrastingly, that he got so many big name actors, and basically the movie's about nothing, and all it is all of these big named actors not only getting to just play whatever kind of character they want to play for fun, but also they're playing dress up, like it's a wardrobe movie. That's all it is. Christian Bale gets to play a bald guy. Jennifer Lawrence gets to dress up in nice dresses. Bradley Cooper gets to do this accent. And it's got to be one of the worst movies I've ever seen.